Dealing with difficult people, lessons from Stoicism. Have you ever encountered a difficult person? Someone who always thinks they're right, considers themselves more intelligent or superior to everyone else. And what if this person is part of our family or closely involved in our lives? Sometimes, we can't just walk away or abandon the situation. To live well, we must learn to manage these relationships without letting ourselves be affected by the negative views such people may have of us and others. We need to avoid internalizing their constant need to be right. The answer to handling such situations can be found in Stoic philosophy, which offers tools to prepare us for life. Often, the knowledge we gain in school doesn't prepare us for life's real situations. The early Stoics said the sole purpose of this philosophy was to make life easier and better for those who practiced it. Regardless of our age, social class, physical condition, or financial status, we can progress in life and move forward. All we need is the desire and the right tools to teach us how to improve. Before we continue, if you find this content helpful, make sure it reaches more people. Like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who might need it. 1. Understand what you will encounter ****. Epictetus used the example of public baths in his lectures to teach an important lesson about mental preparation. In ancient Rome, these places were frequented by people of all social classes, where not only physical needs were met but also social interactions and debates occurred. People behaved in different ways. Some respected the space, others splashed water, left their belongings scattered on the floor, and some visited just to commit petty thefts and crimes. Epictetus emphasized that by knowing what to expect and preparing mentally for it, we can maintain calm and emotional control even in potentially stressful or unpleasant situations. Although public baths no longer exist, this advice is valid and applicable in many areas of our lives. People who always think they're right are often insecure and generally need constant affirmation of what they say and think to support their self-image. For these individuals, being right is the foundation they need to feel confident about themselves. Being right becomes more important than the truth, an easier way to do something, or the common good, because this feeling of always being right reinforces their sense of security. Therefore, when you contradict them, present something new, or somehow disagree with what they say or think, even on simple matters, it causes significant discussion and friction. The need to feel good and secure should come from within ourselves and not from others. Epictetus tells us that true happiness comes from not worrying about things we can't control, such as other people's opinions. We don't control the opinions of others, but we control our own. We have the ability to manage what we think and how we react. When dealing with people who always want to be right, it's helpful to understand that they really need this approval. This helps us not take it personally and maintain our calm. For these individuals, being right is more important than the truth itself. It is more important to be right than to learn a new way of doing something or a new point of view. In other words, even if you present a better argument or an easier way to get results, they won't listen. Understanding this prepares us to handle such people by responding in a balanced manner and not letting it disturb us emotionally. A person who always thinks they are right needs others to agree with their opinion. Their security depends on this validation, which means they do not accept any contrary opinion. It is important to note that Stoicism teaches the opposite, to practice emotional flexibility and to be constantly humble to learn, advance, and improve. As Marcus Aurelius's words confirm, "If anyone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake in any thought or action, I will gladly change. I seek the truth, which has never harmed anyone. The harm is in persisting in one's own self-deception and ignorance." 2. Know your worth ***. Some people who always need to be right tend to think they are superior to others and can make us doubt ourselves. They insist so strongly on their own ideas being correct that we might start to feel our opinions are wrong, that we are less intelligent, or even that we have learning difficulties. They completely flip the situation. When you don't know your worth, it's easy to fall into this trap, especially due to the convincing power of such people. This can be very harmful, as it affects our self-confidence and our ability to trust our own judgments and abilities. There are ways to deal with people who need to always be right, and one of them is to remember that despite our external differences, whether one is thin, another is fat, tall, short, rich, poor, we all share the same human nature. We all have fears, insecurities, and desires, which fundamentally puts us on equal footing. When dealing with such a person, keep these 2 points in mind. First, the other person is important, but so are you. We all, as human beings, are important. Sometimes we put people on a pedestal, and in doing so, we diminish ourselves. We acknowledge that such a person is extraordinary but forget that we have similar capabilities within us. Moral and cognitive development is within reach for anyone who dedicates themselves to it. It is not exclusive to some people. It is accessible to all who seek and cultivate it. Understanding this makes you wake up to look at yourself and discover your own worth, not just admiring that worth in others but learning to build and develop your potential. Therefore, when talking and interacting with someone who insists on always being right, think, we are two important people discussing something that benefits both of us. This helps you maintain a balanced perspective and respect both your own opinion and that of others. 3. Keep the dialogue light. People who always want to be right can make us lose our calm and destabilize us, but this only happens if we allow it. We need to remember that people can only affect us to the extent that we permit. As Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself in Meditations, do not feel harmed, and you have not been. A useful strategy that Epictetus suggests is using humor. When someone tries to dominate the conversation by insisting they are always right, responding with lightness can help reduce tension. At this moment, pay attention to your body posture. If your arms are crossed or very tense, try to relax a bit. Adopt a more open posture and respond calmly and lightly. This can help prevent the conversation from turning into an endless argument. Maintaining a welcoming posture and speaking calmly are effective ways to control the situation. It's easy to get stressed during a discussion, especially when emotions start to take over. In these moments, conversations can quickly turn into insults. Stress is not helpful when trying to talk to someone who considers themselves superior. Often, these people cross boundaries, trying to impose their opinions. To achieve a productive outcome in a discussion, it's crucial to stay calm. This allows us to focus on what really matters and not get carried away by provocations. In Stoicism, using humor is seen as a sign of intelligence and a way to stay calm in the face of problems. The Stoics believed that laughing and making jokes helped them accept things they couldn't change and emotionally distance themselves from the problems around them. By using humor, they faced challenges more calmly and relaxed, without being overly shaken by the problems. Choosing a calm and thoughtful response instead of direct confrontation helps control the situation without turning it into an ego battle. 4. Avoid pointless disputes. Before starting a debate, ask yourself, what is the purpose of this discussion? Is it worth investing my time and energy into this? In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius advises that all actions should have a clear purpose. Asking yourself if it's worth starting a discussion means understanding whether you're doing something productive or just wasting time. People who believe they are always right are often stubborn, convinced that they have all the knowledge or, worse, that their truth is the only one that matters. Most of the time, these individuals adopt an arrogant attitude. Join our Stoicist journey at Buy Me a Coffee. Support with a donation or as a member and have a voice in our community. Every coffee fuels our mission to share wisdom. Be our pillar, make a difference today. They speak as if they are superior and treat others as if they are less intelligent or need them to learn something. These attitudes reveal their arrogance. Epictetus reminds us of a fundamental truth: it is impossible to learn anything new if you believe you already know everything. A person who always considers themselves right rarely learns or allows themselves to step out of the false superiority they have created and believe they possess. Engaging in a power struggle with such a person becomes exhausting and completely pointless. It's important to understand that just because someone thinks they are better than others doesn't make it true, it's just their opinion, likely unfounded. This reminds me of a true story involving the U.S. Navy in October 1995, between an American naval ship and Canadian authorities near the coast of Newfoundland. The conversation began with the Americans calmly asking, "Please divert your course 15 degrees to the north to avoid a collision with our ship." The Canadians immediately responded, "I recommend you divert your course 15 degrees to the south." The American, irritated, replied, "This is the captain of a U.S. Navy ship. I repeat, change your course." But the Canadian maintained his position, "No. Change your course." The situation escalated. The American captain shouted into the microphone, "This is the aircraft carrier USS Lincoln, the second largest ship in the U.S. Atlantic Fleet. We are accompanied by 3 destroyers, 3 frigates, and several support vessels. I demand that you change your course 15 degrees north, or we will take measures to ensure the safety of our ship." The Canadian replied, "This is a lighthouse. Your call." The American captain had no choice but to change course because a lighthouse cannot move. Sometimes, our arrogance blinds us. How often do we criticize others' actions or demand that people around us change their behavior when, in fact, it is we who need to change our own path? Those who always believe they are right adopt the captain's stance. Their insecurity and arrogance do not allow them to see things as they are but through the false idea of greatness they have built for themselves. Learn to identify when a discussion becomes pointless and know when it is time to walk away. Avoiding unnecessary disputes helps you maintain your inner peace and focus your energy on what truly matters. Every minute wasted pointlessly is a minute that could be dedicated to personal development. 5. Be understanding ***. Trying to understand another person's perspective is a valuable way to demonstrate empathy. You can ask questions like, "Why do you think that?" or "How did you come to this conclusion?" These questions help you understand how they formed their opinions and beliefs. Another aspect of being understanding is practicing active listening, which involves paying close attention, showing respect for the other person's ideas and viewpoints. A person who thinks they know it all often does not respect others' opinions or knowledge. By listening attentively, you demonstrate respect and a willingness to engage in conversation. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the best way to retaliate against your enemies is to not become like them. This means adhering to our principles even when we disagree with others. Encourage constructive dialogue and value the contributions each person can bring, regardless of their background. This is part of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches that everyone has something to teach. It's important to remember that someone's stubbornness often stems from a sense of insecurity. These people use what they know as protection against their own weaknesses. When contradicted, their insecurities may be threatened, leading to exaggerated reactions ranging from raised voices to, in extreme cases, physical aggression. Stubbornness is also common among those who believe they know everything. This behavior often manifests as arrogance, acting as if everyone around them knows less or depends on them for knowledge. Some people may also feel the need to control everything around them, which is often a manifestation of insecurity. By trying to control what others think, they aim to prevent any opinions from harming or challenging the belief system they have worked so hard to build. As Stoicism teaches us, it's impossible to control others' opinions, making it difficult to converse with people who believe they know everything, learn better than everyone else, or understand the world better. Whether in a work meeting, a college class, or at home, interacting with these people requires a lot of patience and understanding. They seek security and external approval and try to control what others think and believe to feel good about themselves, protecting their weaknesses and fears instead of facing them. Each time we look within, we gain the opportunity to better understand ourselves, learn to deal with our emotions, depressive feelings, and anger. Each time we turn to something external to fill these answers, we hand over our power to whoever or whatever that may be. Finally, it's important to consider whether it's worth arguing with such people. Often, it's better to recognize when the conversation isn't going anywhere and walk away, maintaining your peace of mind and using your energy in more productive ways. Reflect on your own beliefs. Sometimes we learn something wrong and continue doing it wrong throughout our lives. As Epictetus said, there are two ways to approach the same situation. We can also take the challenge of a conversation with someone who always thinks they're right as an opportunity to examine and strengthen our own beliefs. Reflecting on what we believe is crucial for personal growth. Often, without realizing it, we follow ideas or behaviors without questioning if they are truly good or correct, simply because that's how we learned them as children. We are shaped by our environment and influenced by the character of those around us. When talking to someone who always thinks they are right, we can use this situation as an opportunity to think more deeply about our own ideas. Philosopher Epictetus taught us that we can see the same situation in different ways. This means that even if someone seems unchangeable in their opinions, we can use the opportunity to review and strengthen what we believe. Listening to what others have to say and thinking about it can help us see if we are wrong somewhere or if there is something we can improve. It's good to keep an open mind and always be willing to learn from others. When conversing with someone who seems to know everything, try not to rush to judgment or think, this person thinks they're better than everyone else. Knowing that this is their way, prepare for what's coming and approach the conversation differently. Listen attentively and see if there's something useful you can learn or understand better during the discussion. Even if it seems challenging, this approach can bring valuable insights and help you grow. It's also essential to know when our beliefs are correct and need to be defended. Conversing with someone who always thinks they are right can not only make us doubt our ideas or test our judgment but also confirm our values and principles. If, after thinking and debating with a know-it-all, you find that your ideas still make sense, it reinforces your confidence in them. After all, being open to changing your opinion when necessary shows maturity and emotional intelligence. Facing challenges as learning opportunities. Facing challenges as opportunities for learning, rather than threats, significantly transforms our mindset and makes us more balanced and aware in our lives. Use reason. According to Seneca, using reason is essential for achieving clarity of thought. This helps maintain emotional stability, no matter how difficult a conversation or interaction with someone who always wants to be right. There is an important Stoic principle that says, no one can disturb or destabilize us unless we allow it. Although Stoic philosophy is very old, its wisdom is surprisingly modern and relevant. It helps us build resilience and strength to face everyday challenges and can help you become emotionally resilient, so you are not disturbed by external events or irritated by anyone. Stoic philosophy can teach you how. Controlling yourself and staying calm in the midst of a difficult conversation or discussion can help you make decisions and thus drastically simplify your day-to-day life. The key point here is to use logical and rational arguments, instead of emotional ones, to discuss different viewpoints. Strive to maintain serenity, no matter what happens around you. But remember that while this may be a learning experience for us, it may seem like an attack on their self-esteem for others. The power of silence. Often, when we try to explain our point of view to people who think they are always right, it seems like they never really listen to us. This may happen because it's difficult for these individuals to accept others' ideas. Even if they listen, they won't respond or engage in the conversation. What is a learning experience for us can feel like a threat to their self-esteem. For example, if someone criticizes us for something we do, like eating meat or supporting a particular political movement, it makes us reflect. We consider the criticisms, think about the reasons behind them, and decide whether or not to incorporate this new perspective into our beliefs. This is part of a healthy process of learning and adaptation. In the case of an insecure person, if we give them this same information, they won't listen and will always impose their arguments so that nothing changes their way of thinking. This behavior creates communication barriers and often makes a simple conversation difficult. Knowing this, we can choose the best strategy in response: silence. Silence can be very useful, especially when dealing with someone who thinks they are always right. Often, choosing not to argue can help us avoid fights and stay calm. Stoic philosophy teaches us that valuing silence helps maintain our inner peace. The Stoics believe that we should control our reactions to situations around us to remain calm. When we decide to remain silent in moments of tension, we are practicing self-control. Choosing not to speak does not mean we are passive, cowardly, or agree with everything. It shows that we are strong and conscious. Knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet is an important skill that helps us deal with difficult situations. It's not always worth opening your mouth and responding to a know-it-all. Silence also allows us to observe more and think more clearly about what is happening. Instead of wasting energy in endless discussions, we can use this time to reflect and try to understand others better. This can open our minds to new ideas and perspectives that we wouldn't see if we were fighting. Therefore, using silence is not just a way to avoid conflict, it's a way to grow personally. We learn about patience, setting boundaries, and choosing our battles. In a world full of opinions, knowing when to stay quiet can be a powerful way to assert our position and maintain our peace of mind. Dealing with people who always think they are right can be very difficult and exhausting. It's important to learn to handle this intelligently. In all the strategies you've seen in the video, it's important to understand your worth, master your ability to react with reason, and have emotional intelligence to deal with the stress these people try to cause us. This balanced way of acting helps you stay firm and respectful, avoiding unnecessary arguments. This way, you strengthen your confidence and learn to deal better with complicated situations. The most important thing is that you do not annul yourself, lose your identity, or constantly diminish yourself just to avoid fights. When you decide to give in, do so strategically, so that the price of your peace is not your self-esteem or giving your power to others. If you've made it this far, comment, gratitude. Now, to learn how to deal with regret, watch the video that appears to your left. Thank you for always being here with us.